How are you? How are you? And bless God. Happy MLK Day. I'm saying that with the greatest of joy because back on January 15th, 1929, God saw fit to bring into this world the apostle to this country. He was an apostle of faith, but he was also an apostle of holiness, knowing right and wrong, knowing that it was evil to segregate and separate just because of racism. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said that the 11 o'clock hour on Sunday morning is the most segregated hour in America. And it is a shame, for it is still the most segregated hour in America. I want to talk to you about the Bible says, "Come away from her, and you shall be my people." Separate yourself from what? Unholiness, ungodly things. But we're to come together in godly things. Here it is. 90 years later. Almost 50 years from his assassination. And yet, I have to ask the question, has the dream become a nightmare? Why is it is thought foolish to be able to speak right, enunciate correctly? Why is it considered coonish behavior? White supremacists called Dr. Martin Luther King Martin Lucifer Coon. And yet we throw around the word coon now so easily. Anyone who does not agree with us politically, we call him a coon. Socially, we call them a coon. Sell out. Coon. God is not pleased the way the black community is acting towards one another. I'm not from Chicago, but I can speak to violence. Violence in any form. Unless for protection of one's family or protection of oneself is wrong. Selling poison to one another in the community is wrong. Public Enemy once said it like this: selling drugs to the brother man instead of the other man. Has the dream become a nightmare? Truly, God gave Martin Luther King an assignment. And like most of us, when he gives us a call, we run like Jonah. He didn't want to be the leader, but he obeyed the call of God anyway. He was a pastor first. He was a pastor. Then he was a civil rights leader. The scripture says, obey them that have authority over you, for they watch for your soul. Dr. King had many enemies. Not only because of the color of his skin, but because of his place in society, especially black society. You had folk working against him when he was only trying to help us. He fought for the poor. He fought for voting rights. He fought for simple civil rights, the right to be treated as a human being. The Bible says, how can you say you love God whom you have not seen, yet hate your brother whom you see every day? I'm appalled by the way the community has come into division. Man against woman, woman against man. I've never seen so much disunity in the community. Someone once made the statement to me, would you stop being such a man? What I'm going to do, be a woman or a baby? This is a black woman who said this to me. Now we're in a place of disunity. What are you saying, Apostle Sean? The Bible says that the blessing comes in unity. Psalm 133. God said it. I'm pretty sure he knows what he's talking about. I'm looking at a people today who want to do everything but what thus saith the Lord. I'm looking at a people who forgot that the black church were the catalyst in the civil rights movement, in the black movement. We're the catalyst. Where could we meet? We met at the church. That's why you found so many bombings of the church. Yet, in today's society, we say, oh, that don't matter. We've become divided as a community, divided as a family. We've become statistics saying, look how they act. And yet, that's not the majority of us. The majority of us go to work, pay our bills, be friendly to everyone, courteous as possible. The Bible says, live peaceably with everyone. Everyone don't include just whom you decide you'll be at peace with and live at peace with. Because I'm going to obey God. And Dr. King made the statement, actually defined racism as prejudice plus power. I've taken it to another level. It's prejudice plus the control of socio-economic and political power. You hate someone who looks like me because of the color of our skin? Then you have the nerve to call us lazy, unclean, thinking that if we gonna shake your hand, that somehow the skin gonna rub off and you gonna turn black. Come on now. Why today? We gotta get our country back. Oh, really? 8 years of a black family being the first family of the United States was not good? Let me ask you something. What other president but this they say no at every turn to? I'm talking about Congress. It's supposed to be checks and balances. You're supposed to represent the whole constituency of the United States. So I'm getting a little political now. I don't care if you're a social or economic, liberal or conservative, whether you fall on the left side of the political spectrum or on the right side, or if you have a mind to think and be equal. There's some things that you're liberal about, and there's some things that you're conservative about. You know right from wrong. Dr. King said he had a dream. What he really meant is he had a vision from the Lord. And it was called normalcy. We call it the I Have a Dream speech. Normalcy. It's normal to look at a man or woman based upon the content of his or her character and not the color of her skin. But it's not normal for someone who, when they protest, have a reason why they're protesting, that you object to them protesting. So you object to First Amendment rights. Someone exercising that. And I'm talking to Sheriff David Clarke. I'm talking to the soon-to-be president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. I'm talking to anybody on Fox News who doesn't want this thing, who has the nerve to just disagree with any stance you take, because it's all conservative. I've watched it. 8 to 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. What do we get? A bunch of foolishness. A bunch of one-sided idealism. MSNBC, we get a bunch of one-sided foolishness. Because everything, it seems like MSNBC is the checks and balance to Fox. And CNN is the checks and balance to both. Why? How dare you? I believe just to go with the book. If it makes me a coon to go with the book, then I'm going to be a coon. But yet, I don't think I'm being a coon. I think I'm living a righteous life, as best as I know how. Otherwise, I wouldn't preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. And for my Kemetic brethren, for my Hebrew Israelite brethren, for my pro-black community, for the... See, we have a bunch of subdivisions within the black community, so I'm going to speak to all of them. Yes, we need to know our heritage. Yes, we need to know that our heritage did not start with slavery. But we also need to know how to work in this society. We're in the society. We live in the country. We're citizens of the country. You're citizens of this country, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. And as much as we complain and talk, we overprice our books. You want people to support black business. Don't overprice black business. Don't rob the people. I step in black bookstores and I go into another bookstore, a national chain. You're overpriced. You're overpriced. Stop being thieves and robbers. Black owned businesses. Soul Food Restaurant, which costs the least amount in the grocery store, costs the most in a soul food restaurant. That don't make sense to me. You know, I can go on a rant. I can go on anything. But this I will say. Think about the message of Dr. Martin Luther King. While we can't wait. Thank you, Granddad, for playing the Dr. Martin Luther King speeches with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday anniversary, or even his death was coming around. Thank you. To my sisters, Catherine and Chantel, to my brother Lorenzo III, to my own children, Gabrielle, Cedric, Yeshua, and Sheba, to my grandson PJ, to my mother Carol. Thank you. If you never heard me say it, I'm saying it now. Thank you. Because you are checks and balance to me. To the black community, start holding your brother or sister accountable. In church, in school, at the workplace. Righteous living works. God bless you. God keep you. The Lord bless thee out of Zion.